Hi guys, Jared here. Time for the market video update. We've got some great things setting up. We really have some nice long-term potential trades rolling in, so we're going to have a look at those. But quickly here, we just see the after-hours market. It's a pretty flat day. Oil is staying around that $100 mark. It goes up a little tiny bit over, a little tiny bit under. Nothing too interesting happening there. The Dow had a little bit of a down day, about 20 points so far, or is where it closed, about 8 points down in the S&P. So just kind of a pretty slow day in those markets. As far as news coming up, we don't have too much this afternoon. We saw some pretty important ones. Durable goods came out much better than expected, and then unemployment claims and new home sales came out a little bit worse than expected. So that's kind of where we are there. Friday, we've got the advanced GDP, and this is going to be a crucial one for the U.S. This is a bit of a mover right here, so we're going to keep an eye on that. And then we've got a little bit of Swiss franc news coming out as well. Dollar index topped out very nicely here, about 82, and looks like it's in retracement mode pretty well. So we're just a little bit above 7,900 here, about 7,950, give or take. Still in retracement mode, still in a medium-term uptrend, and I think it's going to hang in there. And let's talk about why and where we could be looking at some bounces. The euro topped out pretty nicely here, just shy of, well, just a little bit above, really. 31.75. It made it a little bit above there, but about 31.75 turned out to be a pretty strong level. We had this nice little breakout down right here. We're right back to some good support about this 3100, and this might be a good little area to take a little short-term buy, see if we can get back up into those highs, and we'll be looking at that. But I think right where the market stands with stops just below this 3100 is a good area to look for some buying opportunities, some short-term buying opportunities. Not looking for anything long, but maybe 25 to 40 pips somewhere in there would be a good thing to aim for from here. Otherwise, if we get a break, then this is probably headed down into 30.50, and that would be at that point a pretty good buying opportunity along this trend line. You can see this trend line here on the 4-hour chart, and it's setting up very nicely. So I think we'll be able to start seeing some little retracements into that and some buying opportunities. So once again, a small buy opportunity with stops just below this 3100, and then once again right around this 3050 with stops just below that. So I think those are going to be some things to look for. Likewise, we could have some short-term breakouts of those levels. You can see that that's a very tight channel right there. So be careful and watch this, and let's make sure that the market can first of all stay above 3100, and really it's about 3095. And if we do get a break of this 3095, we're probably only going for a short run. I'd say 20 pips or so is all I would try to get out of that, and then reposition and get ready for that long opportunity to buy at this 3050. So keep an eye on that and be careful of that. But on the bigger picture here, what I'm still looking to have happen is a little bit of retracement and then one final push up to this 3250, 3240, 3250, and I think that's going to give us a bigger turning point, and we're going to be able to ride the euro down for a couple of hundred pips right there. So we do have a little bit of freedom on the fact that this pair is starting to consolidate, and it's past some of those key high levels that we were looking for, but still it's going to be a little bit of a trudge kind of getting up higher, but that is still our sell point. We're looking for a sell right around 3150, or excuse me, 132.50, and looking to take it down much lower from there. So that's going to be a good little setup to look for, and so on, right on that little level and retracement. Pound dollar, same type of thing. The pound dollar hasn't retraced quite as much, and it's been holding bullish as we've been talking about, much more than the euro dollar. We're probably going to get a little bit of a break this afternoon. Asia is probably going to give us a little bit of a run, and we might be able to take this down into some of this consolidation back here, which is, as you can see, about 56. 40, 50, so there's a good 30-some pips between here and there. Look for a little short-term break and for a little run down into that consolidation. I think that's going to be a decent area to look for. But on this pound dollar, I'm really looking at kind of a little bit of pullback and a little bit of retracement to some of these trend lines that we can see right here. And as this kind of continues higher, we're going to be able to see the market, get down into these supports, just like the euro, get down to these supports of about 156.25, right in that general area, and that's going to be a good little buying opportunity to pick up this pound. So we're going to be looking for some of that to happen, 156.25. Like I said, probably a short-term break down from here, so we're going to keep an eye on that. But still looking for the pound to come up and test this 157.75. maybe 15800, give or take 20 or 30 pips. I think it's going to hit that level, and I think that's going to be a nice area for this to turn down. The pound has had, and the euro as well, has had these very strong runs up, very little retracement there. In fact, not much retracement at all. You don't even see a red candle anywhere in there over the last several days, so it's just been going up and up and up. So as it comes into this strong resistance after this big long run up of several hundred pips, 400 plus pips, we should have a very nice bounce and a very nice continuation back down from there. Even if it doesn't get back down into the lows, I think we'll have a good bounce and a good opportunity for 200 to 300 pips off of that 157.50 to 15800 area. So keep an eye on that. Euro yen, same thing. The euro yen has just started to break this trend line. We have a pretty darn steep trend line. You can see it on the 1 hour chart, and it's just giving us a little bit of retracement, a little bit of pullback. I think we're going to get down, same kind of situation, down into this gap, down into some of this stronger support down here. So probably 60, 70, 80 pips of dip. But I'm still looking for the euro yen to just make one last push higher, which is right around that 102.50. I think if we can get up to 102.50, that's going to be a nice little selling opportunity for this pair to take it right back on down once again as well. So 102.50 on the euro yen. Otherwise, we're going to be looking for buying opportunities at about the 150 area. 100.50 is going to be what I'll be looking for to pick up this euro yen and buy it. So looking for some of that long-term activity, and I think we'll get some coming up. Pound yen, same kind of situation. We don't have all the same kind of levels on the pound yen, but you can see that it's coming up to some of these areas where candle bodies have not been able to get too much above, except for right there we had a little bit of a breakup, but lots of wicks. But this one, we'll call it 12200, has actually turned out to be a very strong level on the pound yen. So we're looking for that to potentially hold and even push this pair lower, but probably not an entry just yet on that one. And then the Aussie dollar is running pretty nicely. It made a very good break of some of those crucial levels there. But you can see that we've got pretty intense resistance up here around the 107.30, 10700, right in that general area. And I think that's going to have some pretty big power to turn this Aussie back down. So only entries on some decent dips is what I would say to do here. And I don't know where I think the best dip is on this Aussie dollar. It's pretty clear on the pound dollar, pretty clear on the euro dollar and euro yen. This Aussie, I think this one is still in kind of tricky territory, and what we will get for confirmation on this Aussie dollar will depend heavily on what gold does. Now, gold is in a very interesting situation because what we've seen on the daily chart here is that gold has really broken this trend line. And again, gold's done what several of these pairs have done, which is make these crazy movements where they're coming into key resistances and they just break through right there, and they just continue on through with very little pullback. And so this is where I think gold's going to be a great opportunity to sell and for these pairs to turn down. Gold's just a couple hundred pips, about 200 pips, 250 pips or so off of this high, this 1750. So we're looking for 1750 on gold, and we're looking for the euro to push another 100 pips higher, the pound to push 100 pips higher, euro yen to push less than 100 pips higher, and we're looking for gold to push about 250 pips higher. And then we're coming into major key levels on all of these pairs, and I think these are going to be great reversal opportunities to start trading these guys back down. So looking for all those to get a little bit higher. As soon as we get a bigger bounce on gold right here, then that's when I'm going to start looking for more confirmation that this high is going to hold, and I'll probably end up selling the Aussie dollar off this high. You can see that the Aussie dollar hasn't really exceeded the 4th daily fib by too much, and that's going to be right at that 4th daily fib. It hasn't quite reached it, but when it gets to this 10700 area, which is strong resistance, that's going to be the 4th daily fib as well. And if that gets up there, gold will probably be close to 1750, and that'll be good points to start turning and trading all of these pairs down. So we need a little bit of a spike up on these guys, but then there's going to be great opportunities to start trading them down. So we're going to be looking for that. Again, Probably a safe area to put a buy opportunity just around 130.50 on this euro dollar. Probably going to get a little break here on this 1 hour crossover. So look at about 130.50. Give yourself 50 or 60 pips of stop, and you should have some nice runs up. And just remember, mark these levels on your charts and go back through them, and we should see some nice runs and some nice trades and setups. Best of luck, everybody. We'll check in and see you in the chat, and good luck on these setups.